out in front of us is the population center here on Maui. This is Kahului. Has the only deep water harbor on the island. A little bit in the distance there toward the valley is Wailuku. Wailuku is the county seat for the islands of Maui, Lanai, and Molokai. Now you'll notice over here on the south side of the island, very dry. What happens is the wind's usually out of the northeast, gets pushed up the mountains really quick. That's why it always rains over there. And by the time the air gets to the south side of the island, it's very, very dry. Those light-colored trees down in the valley, those are kukui. It produces a nut with flammable liquid. That's what the Hawaiians would use for their candles and torches. The island out there is Lanai. It's known as the Pineapple Island. It was purchased by the Dole family in 1921 for $1.2 million. And just down along the shoreline, you'll start to see it grow as we come around. That's the town of Lahaina. And in Hawaiian, that means cruel sun. It's usually the warmest spot on the island with the least amount of wind. It used to be the capital of the Hawaiian Island Chain before we moved it out to Honolulu. Also the whaling capital of the world. So it was so busy out here sometimes with whaling ships, you could actually step from one ship to another all the way across the Lanai. And you can see Ka'anapali coming into view down there now. And another island out there, that's the island of Molokai. another island out in front of us. That's Koho'olave. And nobody lives on that one. The military took it over just before World War II to use it as a bombing target, and that didn't go over real well with the Hawaiians. So they finally got them to quit, and if the paperwork goes well this spring, the military is going to turn it back over to the civilian government again. And if they clean it up enough over there, they'll probably repopulate it. Across the Central Valley here. Most of the green out there is all sugarcane. That's Maui's second biggest industry. Got about 48,000 acres of it. The Central Valley is actually very, very dry, and sugarcane requires a lot of water. So they've got an irrigation system that brings the water off the north side of Haleakala, where we get up to 365 inches of rain per year. That's an inch every day. When it comes time to harvest, they just shut the water off, let the field dry out, and then they'll burn it. Gets rid of all the leaves and weeds, leaves nothing but the stalk, which is so full of sugar and water itself that it won't burn. And on the shoreline out in front of us is the town of Kihei. A little farther down it turns into Wailea, and then McKenna. can see we got a few more people that live up here against the side of the volcano. This is what we refer to as upcountry. And it's quite a bit cooler and moister up here. It's a really nice area in the summertime. Wintertime it can get a little on the cool side. This is also where they grow a lot of the flowers and vegetables for the island. We're going to stick our nose up here and see if the crater's opened up any more than last time. I see something up there. Might be worth taking a look at. What do you think, guys? Alright. Also, if you take a look out in the distance there, you can see a couple of snow-capped mountains. That's the big island of Hawaii. It's Mauna Kea on the left and Mauna Loa on the right. Both those come up almost 14,000 feet. Had snow up there for a couple months now. was just over 200 years ago and happened right along this ridge here. You see a couple of these small craters coming up? That's left over from that eruption. Now, these white buildings coming up are a government facility called Science City. That's why they do some satellite tracking observatory work. It's also a favorite launching point for hang gliders. Oh, the crater's wide open. Fantastic. It usually improves as the day goes. Just after lunch, like between 12 and 3 is usually when it gets really cloudy, and then after that it starts to open back up again. You can start to get a view down into the crater itself. It's about 21 miles in diameter, about a half a mile deep. And those hills that you see down in there are cinder cones. Hawaiians refer to them as poos. And the bigger one out the left there is Pu'u Maui. Comes up about 1,000 feet off the base of the crater. And also see some of the trails that run down through there. And actually come up and hike inside the crater. You can even spend the night. There's a few cabins up here maintained by the Park Service. Now we're going to start our descent down the south side. Going to go down a little quicker than we came up, so you're probably going to feel a little pressure in your ears. Try to clear them as often as you can. Yawn, swallow, or hold your nose, close your mouth, and blow out lightly. If it starts to get uncomfortable on the way down, please let me know so I can ease up on the descent for you. Now the large valley off the left there is Monowainui, one of the few places on this side of the island that hasn't been filled in with lava. How's everybody doing on their ears? Good. Coming up off the right side there, along the shoreline, a few houses. That's Kipahulu. It's a real quiet part of the island. It's also the final resting place of the famous aviator Charles Lindbergh. He came here in his later years to enjoy some of that peace and quiet. The valley that runs up from there is a sanctuary. It's off limits to the public. Home to about 2,500 different kind of plants and animals we only find here in Hawaii. Anybody ever ventured around this side by car? You guys have? Everybody, wow, a bunch of brave people, huh? That's a pretty tough drive, isn't it? Off the right side, there's a little gulch. Runs down to the sea. You can see where the water's just a little bit different color. That's where we're going to find the 7 sacred pools. We're just going to bank it over a little bit to the right. See if we can get a view, and then we'll turn around and put it out the left side for you. Best view is when we're just offshore. Get a view back up toward it. If you take a look just out the front there, looks like we got some whales. Not quite sure what he's doing. More way out in the distance also. Oh, big splash. Well, need to keep going this way anyway. We'll probably spot some more along the way. We'll see if we can't bank it back over a little bit. Tough to get it just right. Well, anyway, straight in front of us there is the village of Hana. Kind of surrounds the bay. We used to hide some of our submarines in this bay during World War II because of the continual overcast here. Helped to hide them from the spy planes. Hana is also the birthplace of Ka'ahumanu. She was one of King Kamehameha's 5 wives. Another beautiful day in Hana. Pretty typical weather. Did you guys have rain when you drove out here? Some yeses, some nos? Ah, you're pretty lucky. Shoreline right along here. It's really pretty. A few little arches and caves back in there. That brown house, kind of camouflaged behind some trees there. That one belongs to George Harrison, one of the Beatles.
A sunny day is not quite the same as the ocean blue. At home in the islands, at home in the islands, at home in the middle of the sea, where two happy guys meet tropic skies, living the life of the gypsy musician, and it's hard on our heads, and the lady of our hearts is miles and miles and miles away. At home in the islands, at home in the islands, at home in the middle of the sea. There's no other place that we'd rather be than home in these islands in the middle of the sea. Keeping real close to family or friends and taking it easy in the tropical breezes. At home in the islands, at home in the islands, at home. Of the sea, at home in the tropics, at home in the tropics, at home in the middle of the sea.
Now to the left on that little peninsula, it's where you find the village of K&I. 1947, a tidal wave came through here, wiped out most of the village, left a little bit of the church standing. That's also where they grow a lot of the taro plant. They use the root of the taro to make poi. Those fields out the left are all pineapple. You can always tell pineapple they plant it in those long strips. still planted and picked by hand, so they have to be able to get some trucks down in there. The plants are only a couple of feet tall. They last anywhere from 2.5 years. During that time, they'll get 3 to 4 harvests out of them. Little town coming up along the shoreline there. That's Paia. It's mostly full of surfers and windsurfers. They like to stay near this north shore here. It's supposed to be some of the best windsurfing in the world.
Our friends and we have often roamed the trails of Mauna Kea. And in the evenings we'd come home and see her stand there. The moon moves around her when she sleeps. The clouds stand beside her when she weeps, and I could be forgotten and 1,000 miles away, and still I would recall the beauty of Mauna Kea. Down to any land you go, she will be with you if you love her.
Well, this brings us back into Kahului. I hope you guys enjoyed your trip. Good. Well, when you guys feel the helicopter touch down the ramp, go ahead and take your headsets and seatbelts off. If you want to stay inside until somebody comes out and opens up the doors for us. Mahalo, everyone.
When she wakes and the sun spreads its warmth across her face, and we could be forgotten and still I would